Sweet.
Hey everybody, welcome back. It's another episode of Selling Real Estate with Kelly Cook. We've got Kelly Cook in the building. How are you doing, Kelly?
I'm doing great, Elizabeth. How are you today?
I am wonderful, and we have a very special guest. We have Frank Klesitz of Vyral Marketing joining us today. I know that we have talked about database marketing, really making sure that you're staying connected with your database and why that's so important. We've touched on that on some previous episodes, among other things, but we have kind of the expert in database marketing here today with us. So we're just going to jump right into that, why it's so important to nurture that database for leads, and why video might be a really great way to do it. Let's get into that.
Absolutely.
I think I have a good way to start it off.
Godfather. The Godfather.
Yeah, so you're not held hostage by Zillow.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm excited to be the Godfather of database marketing here himself today. Our first guest right now on the podcast, one of many to come, and he was highly requested by our audience, and he comes highly recommended too as well. And I am personally a client of the company Vyral Marketing, which Frank is the owner of, or one of the owners of at least. And so we are excited, Frank, to talk to you today about what you guys do and why agents should keep in touch with the database and the marketing that goes into it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
That's a lot right there, Frank, but I know you have
it.
a lot of wisdom. So, question, why is it? First of all, what does Vyral Marketing do, and why should an agent, sign up for that?
I was going to get into the business of selling real estate out of college, and they said, go talk to people and pick your form of rejection you want. But it's either door knocking or calling or networking events, but you got to go meet homeowners. And then most of them aren't interested in selling their home right there or that moment. So you need to have some way to stay in touch with them. And at Keller Williams, which is the company I was going to work for when I got to college, they had a 33 touch campaign where you needed some way to basically be in front of people a lot, all the time. And the only thing available at the time was kind of basically junk mail, like junk postcards. So I was like, man, what if I could get myself on camera and start sending out videos, like tips, helpful insights, put them on social media, email them out. And that was the idea. So today, Kelly, you're a client, and 10, 11 years later, we interview you on a webcam just like this to create a couple helpful educational videos every month. And then we edit, optimize them, and promote them to your database, online, email, social media. And there's also a direct mail component where we can get a monthly print letter out to your list as well. It's a great way to nurture all of the more important relationships in your life, so you're not what, the joke in the industry is a secret agent, where you're in real estate, but no one else really does.
Exactly.
And the 33 touch helps prevent that from happening.
Love it. It's funny because I'm with Keller Williams, and probably about the time that you were going to sign up with them, I was not. I was with actually Berkshire, which is Berkshire now, but it was Prudential. And I was looking for something a little more that guidance on how to run my business like a business. It's not taught in most of these brokerages, and it wasn't taught at that time. So I read the Red Book and did all that too. And one of the big components was, database, 33 touch. And we now have an offshoot of that campaign now as well, which I know myself and Elizabeth have talked about in this podcast a couple of times. But video marketing seems to be kind of the way that, everyone's going with the platforms, right? So just talk about that for a second, Frank. Like, how often should be someone to be doing videos to the database?
Well, the idea is that for most people, recording a video is a lot easier than maybe having to write an article, because you just talk about it, especially when you're interviewed. So from a content creation standpoint, it's a much easier media to demonstrate your expertise and get out. But also, people kind of want to know who they're doing business with. When you're selling the intangible of a service, it's nice when, before you hire the attorney, before you hire the agent, before you hire the CPA, like, who is this person? Like, who is the individual I'm getting money to? And they can go online and they can watch your videos and they get comfortable with you, at least know who you are. And that's really key. I mean, a lot of times what it comes down to is, I'm going to hire the agent I like. I'm going to hire the agent I feel more congruent with, or the one that probably I've just spent more time with. Yeah. And a lot of that time can be spent online just watching your stuff, as opposed to like actually being with them in person, So I think video, short of like, rankings in Google and all these other reasons why video is better, it's you have to sell yourself online where you have a decent presence on there and people get to know you online first. So people take you seriously when you call and when you meet with them. It's really hard, trying to like just use email and phone, especially with COVID, trying to build a relationship with somebody when you don't have like an online presence where they can like see you and see a photo and videos and everything else, Yep. So if you're watching this, you're not using video yet, you're kind of missing out on, you're not making it very comfortable for people to hire you because you're not using video. And I would recommend the easiest way is to get in front of a webcam like we all are today and have someone interview you like this, where it's a conversation. And it's the easiest way to kind of get comfortable making content, especially when you kind of go like a Q&A route with your videos. And they don't have to be long, a couple minutes. So start putting those on your website, and then you can take it further. You can email them out, put them on social media, and use that content as some type of helpful touch piece for your long-term nurture program for your database, which is your past clients in your sphere and like essentially all the emails you have in your CRMs to communicate with people.
Right. Awesome. And what you guys do is something that like, I think a lot of people, agents in the business think that, well, I can create a video and I can send it out to the database if I have that. But so why would I do Vyral? And I think talk to that for a second.
I have a trainer I work out with, and every day I hate it because I know I can do this. I mean, I went for a run this morning. That requires no skill, but I would have never have done it unless he showed up and dragged me out of the house and said, "Let's go run."
You're running now?
Yeah, I know, dude.
What? I don't believe that.
I know. Yeah, I went for like 1.5 miles, 2 miles this morning. That's why I'm sitting down. Yeah, like, first off, you're going to have, I don't think anyone wakes up in the morning and is like, oh man, I'm so excited to make videos. Maybe Kim Kardashian. But outside of that, most normal people aren't really excited to do it, but they know they need to do it. So you have like a coach and someone calling and holding you accountable to like set the appointment, you show up, get in front of your webcam, make sure you sound good, make sure you look good, and like talk you through something to say and like interview to make it less painless, and then it's done, right? I think that's the biggest thing. That's really the competitive advantage of Vyral, is the human support, the personal trainer, so to speak, of like actually getting this stuff taken care of. And then you have the processing of it. Oh yeah, I mean, you can probably get a lot of that on Fiverr. I mean, the price of that is only going to go down to probably like free or cheap as you have an explosion of services around the world. But what is that? You have to edit it. There's probably a gazillion video editors out there. You can have someone summarize the article. You have to put the email together. You have to post on social media. The talent for that isn't necessarily expensive. There's people around the world that can do those things. But when it comes down to like consistently getting it done on time, reliably, correctly, at a relatively higher level than someone that's brand new, we can execute on that. And our fee is $550 a month. And we interview you once a month to create 2 videos. And then we edit, optimize, and put them out to your list. So yes, you can certainly do a lot of this on your own, but you have to look at the opportunity cost of your time again. And I always hate it when people told me that, but like, I really don't want you sitting down editing a video and like the 4 layers of proofreading that goes through before you send an email. Like, how much of a panic attack is it before you send an email to your database, right? Let's read it again. Let's read it again. Let's do this again. Let's double check that. Oh, there's a broken link, doesn't work. All of those little things stacked on each other become like, oh, that's so much work. And it never gets done. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's one of those things that if you want to get it done consistently, you're going to have to hire someone to focus on it. That's all our firm does, is to create videos, go out to your list, help you stay in touch. And we do it relatively inexpensively, because if you were to make our service any better, you're going to have to hire a professional video person.
Yep. No, I agree. And what I love about it too is I love the after the video effect too, right? The list, you guys, everything's trackable.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. So when you email your database, let's say one of your topics are 3 things you must absolutely know before you sell your home in Phoenix this winter. There you go, Kelly. How's that?
Hold on, take a note.
3 things you must absolutely know before you sell your Phoenix home this winter. Got it?
Yep.
Now, You title that in your email. You title that as your post. You title that as your video. Something like that. Okay, wouldn't you want to know who clicked it and who watched it? That'd be kind of nice, right? And when you send that out, you can actually see who opens the email and who clicks the videos, and you get that report back. You're like, well, I could slog through cold calling a bunch of expireds and FISBOs that I probably don't have the right numbers for, that are all going to yell at me.
What do you mean?
Yeah, or I can call these people in my database that whatever, past clients, nurtures, leads, whatever, but you probably have the correct phone number because a lot of those numbers are opt-in or you have it. So at least you have the right number,
Yeah.
And then you can call them up and say, hey, I see you subscribe to my videos. Do you have any questions about buying or selling home? Just check it in.
Yep.
Funny you called.
Love
I was
that.
thinking about selling my home this winter.
Yeah. Love that, man.
And then they're already nicely informed as well from your video. They already know what they need to do.
And you're positioned well where they kind of know you.
Totally.
Yeah, that's another reason why I love calling database is the numbers are usually more accurate because these are numbers you communicate with people or like they've opted on your website. Whereas when you do cold calls, you have to append the phone numbers from third-party sources, which are notoriously inaccurate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so incredibly simple, right? Like this is the thing that's right in front of every single agent's face.
Yeah.
We want to go out there and do the next shiny object, right? Instead.
Yeah.
They're already in your database. You may have sold them a house already. Communicate with them because again, lifetime value of that customer.
Yeah, I just hired somebody. I hired someone for in our office for $10 an hour full time. So I think with employee payroll tax, $10 an hour, you're in maybe $1,800 a month to spend. But yeah, we have a way in our database of like everybody. Give me a list of everyone that's opened an email in the past 30 days. It's not a customer or hasn't said leave me alone. So he has this, we call it like a Shark Tank, and there's thousands of people in that. And he's just going through and picking out 50, 60, 70 people a day and calling them, saying, hey, I'm the executive assistant of Frank Klesitz. He asked me to call you. You want me to invite you to an event? You wanted me to give you something for this? You wanted me to give something to you? Hope you're doing well. By the way, while I have you. Oh, from Mason? Good.
He's doing his job.
Yeah, he's asking for feedback. He's calling customers for feedback. That's his job. But on top of that is, have you thought about hiring us? Is there anything I can do to move the needle forward on that?
Yep.
And he's scheduling appointments. So like, it's also a lot easier. Like if you're going to hire someone to call and do cold calling, I mean, you're going to have to pay that person a lot of money because the job sucks.
Yep.
And you're going to yell that all day long. Whereas if you're going to hire someone to call your database, you don't have to pay that much because the calls are nicer and there's a reason to call.
There you go. There's a nugget right there.
Yep.
It's true.
Yeah.
You want me to cold call homeowners all day long? Yeah, pay me a fortune. I need a big commission to do that.
Right.
You want me just to call nice, warm people that are reading your stuff in your database to be kind and, all the numbers are good because they're all opted in, right?
Yeah.
And it's a lot less expensive and more effective.
Which, if you want to talk about that for a second, I mean, you guys offer that service as well, which I've been utilizing for a little while as well.
Well, we did. We just canceled it recently. Yeah, COVID, I took a hit on that. I had to cancel that out. But we actually offered for extra, God, it was cheap. What, $150 a month?
Yeah.
For extra $150 a month or something, we would call all the people that opened your emails and clicked the links as your executive assistant to see if they're interested in a conversation.
Right.
Yeah, I had to shut that down. Because you got to bring them into an office. You got to have the bells and the whistles and everyone have a call center. And then with COVID, we're going to be getting rid of our office. Anyways, there was a business decision to shut it down, but that doesn't mean not to do it. And to add to that is it's a good idea. Like if you're looking to hire agents, sure, you'd love to hire like rock star licensed agents to work for you and everyone else. But another thing you should think about is offering like an apprenticeship where you take someone who's unlicensed and train them up from scratch. But you got to what I would do is I'd pay that person minimum wage part-time as they probably work someplace else at some crappy job they hate to like build a career for themselves in real estate with you. But you pay them, minimum wage to start. They'd say, look, you're unlicensed, so you can't really do cold calls or call buyer leads, without me getting in trouble. But you can certainly call my database, just inviting it to an event. You can certainly call my existing list. And, hiring that person for minimum wage with an upside to become a licensed agent and just putting them on your open and click calls and stuff like that is a really good way to get cheap labor to make those calls that are easier with some type of future where they're not making minimum wage to ultimately become a buyer or listing agent with you. And you're getting them on the phone right away so that you're practicing, you're good at speaking to people.
Yeah, what a great way to scale. I love that idea.
Yeah, like an apprenticeship model where they start calling your database right away to test their skills.
Yeah, yeah. And I love that in that report after the fact that comes out. I mean, calling those people, you can see exactly who opened it, who watched the video, who clicked on the buyer
link. Who even
link,
clicked the call to action links. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the best part.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Wait,
nice
hold on. I
to
just
have.
talked to that guy about a month ago, and he didn't say anything about buying, but he's searching homes now. What in the world?
Yeah.
Yeah, he clicked that one to search for homes for sale link.
Yeah. Right.
So that's a cool system. So what we teach everyone at Vyral is like, look, pick your form of rejection, or pick your form of risking all of your money on marketing that who knows it's going to work. But you got to go talk to people. You got to go. You can do door knocking. You can do events. You can do cold calling. You can buy third-party leads, which are increasingly becoming more of the employee with them as they move to more referral-based models. You can do pay-per-click. You can do direct mail. You can do Facebook. But you're just trying to have efficient conversations with people that might want to buy or sell a home. But realize most people don't want to buy or sell right now.
Right.
You get their contact information. You put them in your database. Now the question is you should have some type of plan to stay in touch with them. And my argument is, I think I know the Vyral Marketing plan is the most effective way to do it, without question. I mean, to a point of diminishing returns for the money.
Yep.
Because the most effective way is let's just call them all the time. But there's limits to that.
It's probably a little less invasive to show up in their email as opposed to getting phone calls all the time too, though. That's
you'd be surprised in the real estate industry, Elizabeth. It's just the holy grail of the real estate agent that's celebrated on stage is the person that sits on a dialer for 8 hours a day and has 3 headsets.
Is that
with
real quick,
people a day? It's
just a question
and then
for that.
everyone's like, oh, you worship that person.
I know.
Oh my gosh. I wish I had 3 phones on me all day long.
I think that's just surprising as I'm not that young. I'll be 29 in a couple of weeks, but as a younger person, I don't answer my phone. If it's a call that's coming from somebody that I don't have their number, I am not answering it 100%.
Well, you're
but
seeing more
I'm much more likely to open an email. So that's where I think that it's kind of shifting as to where emails are more likely. You're more likely to read an email and get your message across through email as opposed to phones right now. If you're targeting a younger demographic as opposed to older
Elizabeth,
people.
that's why you have to dial 100 people to get 5 people to answer the phone now. I'd probably say if you were to do straight up cold calling, pull a list of the homeowners, append their phone numbers, over time, you would have to dial probably 100 numbers to get 5 to 8 people to actually answer the phone for straight cold calling.
Yeah. It's trending that way.
Whereas, it's only going to get worse.
Yeah.
So that's why I have the opt-in phone numbers through marketing. And when you do call, you leave a message or you text them, hey, I'm so-and-so with so-and-so. They're like, oh, okay. Now I'll call you back. It's really good. After every single call, you send a text where it's hey, I know you're busy. Totally couldn't answer, but this is who I am. Here's what I want to talk to you about. Hit me back.
Yeah.
Yep. I love that. So I remember this conversation I had with you, Frank, about Vyral before I signed up many years ago. And
you've been with mine for so long, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah, but no, I mean, I appreciate the service that does and everything you guys do as well. So the question that a lot of people probably are going to have about Vyral, as with anything else when it comes to marketing, is how do I know if I can afford it, right? How do I know if it's the ROI is going to be there and I can afford it and that sort of thing? And I remember what you said, which I knew but didn't think about because it's emotional and you have the money and blah blah blah. You probably don't remember what you said.
I don't. I'd be interested. I'd like to give the answer, see if it's the same. I don't know.
Okay. You want
I got my current. I got my current. I'll give you my answer. This is why I say now.
Okay.
Because there's lots of ways you can answer that. You have your I don't know, how much money could. I want to go down that path. The correct answer is look. Take the last 90 days. Take the moving average of your last 90 days of GCI, of your total commissions. Let's say you're making $20,000 a month of commissions. I mean, definitely one of the top agents in the country, probably doing at least 25 deals a year. You got $20,000 a month of commissions coming in. If you're going to run your stuff as a business, Kelly, which is what you talked about earlier, you have to think of that, okay, that's like not my income. That's not my paycheck. That's revenue. Very different way of thinking about the money for most people, right? So when you think of it in terms of revenue, because you want to run it as a business, now like you have expenses on that, and there's certain percentages that a healthy business will spend on certain things. So I'll tell you right now, if you're going to be in business as a business, you're going to spend money on marketing. No way around it. Lead generation marketing, call it whatever you want. It should be about 10%. 10%. And like if you're like kind of like really trying to crush it, you don't mind reinvesting profit, you can go as high as 20%, but 10% is pretty healthy.
Yeah.
So I'd probably say if you're doing $20,000 a month in business, you have a $2,000 a month marketing budget. And I would ask you, are you over that? Are you under that? Are you spending that? Where are you at? And then I would establish a budget as a percentage of GCI. And then I'd say, okay, let's kind of like order your lead sources from the most profitable, but probably like require the most of your time to all the way up to probably arguably the less profitable, but you just write a check and they come in. And the reality is with your marketing budget, the synergistic blend of that is profitable.
Yep.
So that's how I'd answer the question. So I like to hear my answer when it was first you.
You go, I remember on the phone, you go, hey, you seem like a pretty smart guy. You run your business like a business. I go, yeah. You go, okay, so you keep a P&L and keep books, right? Yeah. So you know your percentages.
Oh, I did say that to you?
You did. 100%.
Oh, wow.
I go, yeah, I do. I go, okay. Can you afford an extra $550 a month and still be under the 10% marketing budget that you said you ran?
There you go. Yeah.
And I already knew the answer. And I'm like, yeah, okay.
Do it.
Then do it. And I was like, that was such clarity because, again, that's why this is not a coaching podcast call, but like that's why you need coaching, someone to get you clear, get you out of your own headspace, right? Because when you did that, it eliminated the emotion attached to it.
Dude, that's really, I work inside spreadsheets all day long to make money decisions. And like, I never think about the money. I just think, everything has risk. And I just, like for right now, I think I got an extra $6,000 a month in my marketing budget. Like, I guess one way of looking at it is like, man, I could take that out and have $6,000 extra dollars a month. But that's like not running your shit as a business. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's more about like, okay, I got this $6,000 here. Where do I put this to like get a return that I'm not going to hate myself, like of doing it, that I can actually enjoy? Like what's a marketing vehicle that's authentic to me that I can actually sustain that can hopefully get me business? And all of the answers are wrong. You just try to hopefully find the ones that are less wrong that actually work. I mean, the famous quote, I don't know where I heard this, but it's from like a P.T. Barnum at the circus. He's like, I know half my marketing budget's wasted. I just don't know what half. So that'll always be the case. Half of your marketing is a complete waste.
Right.
You just won't know what half.
But you try to help to make it trackable.
But that's how you think about it. I really would you really try your best. And Viral's one of the ones that's really hard to track because, when somebody comes into your database, they'll have a lead source. I met this guy at the grocery store. Met them, they're a Zillow lead. They're from Facebook. They're from paper. Like if they're in your database, if they made it into your CRM or spreadsheet, they have a lead source. They came in from somewhere. Yeah. So Vyral is not even a lead source. I'm not adding anyone new to your list on Vyral. I'm marketing to your existing ones.
That's right.
So really what they call it, oh man, what was her name? There's actually a lady in Phoenix that's a client of ours.
Rachel Richards.
Rachel. You know Rachel Richards, Kelly?
I do.
So let's see here. She sent me an email. Here.
A sub-source, huh?
Can I share my screen, Kelly?
Yeah.
Turn the screen share.
It's me.
This is good stuff for our viewers. Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, so your database marketing plan, it's really hard. Like, how do you track the ROI of that? And like, this is getting really in the weeds here, but she uses a program called Sisu, which I highly recommend to check out.
Yeah.
But she said, by the way, in the last 6 months, 31 is the viral sub lead source for closed. So what happens is they were a Zillow lead, they were a direct mail lead, they were I cold called this person. That's the main lead source. But then they allow you, I guess the language, they allow you to add sub lead sources. So you kind of have, like what else influenced the decision to make them buy. Right. Yeah. And
I think what they do with that is, they track, run it against like their open and click reports, and then people that have watched their videos, they track it as a sub lead source, so that if a deal eventually comes from that, well, they know that they have been watching the videos as well. So that's a good indicator that that influenced their decision.
Yeah, I think there's a service called RealSync that you can sign up for. It's not very expensive. That when we send an email out to your database through Emma, which is our email marketing program. So we grab your data, you grab your email list from all these sources, and we send out the email through Emma to your list. Wouldn't it be nice if all that open and click data was pushed back into your CRM and added to the contact record?
Oh.
RealSync, RealSynch.com. $20 a month.
Is that Scott's?
Yeah, Scott's working over there now. Yep. RealSync, RealSynch. So let's say, you close a deal in your CRM and you can see like, okay, this person came in from here. You can see the whole history. Well, look at this. They have been clicking on those emails and watching this stuff. And then probably what you really should do is like just call them up and be like, look, the fact that I'm making these videos make any damn difference. The fact that you actually hired me or worked with me. And if they say yes, that's absolutely a sub lead source.
Yeah.
We get that all the time with radio. Matt Wagner runs a company called Radio and Television Experts, and he has these top agents in various markets spending ridiculous sums of money on endorsements and radio and television ads. And he's, some agents do really well at it and some are struggling at it. But the ones that are doing really well at it, Matt usually says many of them are viral clients or doing something like viral. They might be a client of ours, but just like it because, like, he's like, look, for most people, maybe you're like a more educated crowd. You hear a radio ad, Kelly Cook, gotta hire this guy. He's amazing.
Yeah.
I don't think they're necessarily going to call the number and say, come on out and list my house.
Right. That's right.
They're going to Google you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And they're going to check you out and learn more about you. They're going to, a lot of the radio and television ads spark Google searches.
Yeah.
And when your videos pop up and your online presence pops up, it gives you the credibility, and then they convert.
Yeah.
So a lot of your mass advertising needs to be backed up with a really good online presence.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, very similar. Like we use Yelp, right? And leads that come to Yelp. But the interesting part is that's a high conversion rate for us.
Yelp's are great leads.
Yeah, because they already feel like they know you, right?
Yeah. There's a lot of trust there. They read the reviews. They called you from Yelp. Those are really good leads.
Yep, absolutely. Well, it's been awesome, Frank. Elizabeth, do you have any more questions? I know we try to keep our time somewhat limited, but there's a lot of knowledge here, so I'm glad we went over our normal time that we do because we're quick hitters typically. But this is awesome. Any other questions that you have?
No, I think that Frank has dove deep into database marketing, why you need to do it, and especially why video, because we had that conversation about why video is so important to build that trust and credibility. So like we said, if you're not doing it already, you need to get in the game. Frank, if anybody is interested in signing up for Vyral or learning more about what Vyral can do, where can they find that out?
Yeah, go to getvyral, GETVYRAL.com. Kelly,
Perfect.
thanks, man.
Yeah, thanks, Frank. As always, man. Pleasure.
All right. Awesome. And we will see you guys next week for another episode.
All right. Take care, guys.
Bye.